Kia ora, I'm David Chaston with 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. As we get everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock with news. Most of the major 2024 elections have now been held, with overall results tending to go the way of the incumbents. The only major one left to go is the US, but some may find the UK one of local interest in the meantime. First in the US, the ISM factory PMI sagged on weaker than expected new orders, which was a surprise to analysts. Overall, the small contraction extended. This is a shift that moved bond markets, but not so much as the equity markets. But this version was quite different to the internationally benchmarked S&P Global one, which recorded an improved expansion and on an expanding new orders. Take your pick. American petrol pump prices are now lower than a year ago as weakness and oversupply spread in global oil markets. And Canada said its first quarter 2024 GDP expansion was 0.4% for the quarter, to be up 1.7% higher than year-ago levels. A 25 basis point rate cut to 4.75 is still expected on Thursday this coming week from its central bank. And we should note that Canada has been abnormally dry recently, and its famed hydropower network is on reduced rations. And that'll have big consequences for the aluminium smelting industry, among others. And the Mexican presidential election delivered a landslide win for their first female president. Her opponent was female too. She has almost won a supermajority in both houses of their parliament. Her party is the main left-wing force in Mexico and continues its rule since 2018. This extends the global trend of incumbents winning big. And India's elections are over now, and early tallies suggest that incumbent BJP candidate Modi has won in a landslide too. And India's first quarter 2024 GDP expansion came in larger than expected at 7.8% higher than year-ago levels. Analysts were expecting a 6.7% expansion, but over the past year, the expansion has been 8.2%. Given India's rising heat and water stress levels, though, it is hard to be confident that it can maintain that level of expansion for long. After 2 months of small expansions, the official China factory PMI contracted in May. A small expansion was expected again in May, so this will be a disappointment for them. Meanwhile, their official services PMI is still expanding, but at an unchanged and low rate. And in Australia, their minimum wage will rise 3.75% on July the 1st. More than 20% of their workforce is on the minimum wage awards. The award is less than expected and more than current inflation, which was 3.6%. Markets remain unsure of the next RBA rate change on June the 18th, with many still expecting a hike. They point out the risks are high for inflation to stay elevated with this minimum wage hike because their target band is between 2 and 3%. US Treasury 10-year yield is now at 4.4% and down 10 basis points from where we left it last week. And the price of gold will start today down $1 at $2,348 an ounce. But oil prices are down $3 at just over $74 a barrel in the US, while the international Brent price is now just over $78 a barrel. These are 4-month lows. And the Kiwi dollar starts today more than a quarter cent firmer from yesterday at just under 61.8 US cents. Against the Aussie, we're nearly a quarter cent firmer as well at 92.6 Australian cents. Against the euro, we're also marginally firm at 56.7 euro cents. That all means our trade-weighted index starts today at just on 70.9 and up 20 basis points from yesterday. You get more news affecting the economy in New Zealand from interest.co.nz. Kia ora, I'm David Chaston, and we'll do this again tomorrow.